Right, so you want to make some silver. Now, the best things I have seen so far, there's two ways. One is a semi-passive way, and then one's a more active way. And unfortunately, the active way kind of feeds into the passive way a bit. But I'll show the passive way first. You go over here to your distillery. Alright, and there's one thing you want to make. It is the Gold Skull rum here. So you have to make White Skull rum, and then it's a ratio of 2 to 1 to make Gold Skull rum. Because this stuff here, it will sell for 250 to a Sherlock, whatever his name is. Quick little side note, which I forgot to mention a second ago. The Gold Skull rum, if you don't see that in your distillery, the rum over here that I just shoot recently, just here. If you don't see this here, along with the gin and the Gold Skull gin, it's because you haven't done any helm upgrades yet. In order to get that, you have to go up here to your Helm Empire overview. You go across here to the upgrades, and here, the Smuggler's Operations, you'll need to get this one, number 7 out of 24. Unlocks production of Gold Skull rum for the refinement of from the refinement of White Skull rum. That's what you need. Then the gin one is just after it. And I think way down here you get the Gold Skull gin, but it's quite a bit. Yeah, 16. It's quite far down. So if you don't have the upgrade to get Gold Skull rum, you can just sell the normal White Skull rum. But White Skull rum sells 100 silver per bottle. And then, obviously, it's a 2 to 1 ratio into Gold Skull rum, and that sells for 250, so you're making an extra 50. Basically, if you start selling White Skull rum instead of gold, you're losing 50 silver for every 2 you sell. Ain't too big, but it can add up depending on how much you do this. So, it is definitely a good one to do. Also, they said on Twitter that this 8 days reset is actually wrong. It's an error. I'll put it down in the description below, the tweet. I'll actually link the tweet so you go look for yourself. Someone asked them, apparently that's an error. This all should reset at the end of season 1, which isn't for another 92 days. It should be this day. For some reason it's showing 8 days, so everyone's assuming this is when the season starts, which in 8 days that will be, I think, the 27th. Yeah, the 27th. So that could be when the season starts. Anyway, thought I'd mention that before I forget, because that's kind of important to know. Because not everyone might not even know how to make Gold Skull rum. So there you go. That's how it's done. Let's go grab some of that and I'll show you that real quick. Down here. Oh, there it is. I'll just grab some of this. Okay, like 193-ish. Right. We run over here. It's all the way over to Sherlock. Because at 250 silver per Gold Skull rum, if you can easily make the rum, it gets you so much silver, it's ridiculous. Like, we're talking hundreds of thousands. But, obviously it does have a crafting time attached to it, hence why it's the passive route that we go for silver. There you go. So, see, 250. So even this 193, that's nearly 50,000 right there. So that's easy silver. That's the passive way sorted out. Alright, and now for the more active way, which is really simple. Earns you a steady silver per hour rate, and a bonus, which is why it feeds into the passive, is it'll give you helm resources as well. But what you want to do is come to your helm again. This order registry right here. You will open this up, and even if you don't have the stuff, see I don't have the stuff here for this. Even if you don't have it though, take them all. Take every single one. Now, you can't fast travel while you do this. That's fine, because you don't have to hand these in. You can abandon them after, if you want to. Or just go hand them in. It's up to you. Right, once you have them full, you just set sail. Right, future dragster here. Gonna change up the middle of this video a little bit, because once you set sail, all you want to do, I'd recommend highly going over to this open area. There might be other open areas that you can do that work well. I used to go here all the time, and you'll see me farming here in the video. But I'd highly recommend going here, it is a lot better, like crazy amounts of silver. Like you'll see later in the video, I get about, I think it's 24,000 here in about 15 minutes. Then you gotta add more gold equivalent or silver equivalent for the rum I could produce. But going here, it's basically doubled. So definitely go here. Okay, yeah, definitely would recommend open areas. Definitely. I might die. Oh god. Right, so you've set sail. Now, what you want to look out for, which we should see rather soon, normally, is there's 2 rogue ships. Quite a few of them might spawn. They might not spawn right away. Sometimes they'll spawn before you even get out of the safe zone. But sometimes you might have to sail a little bit. But basically, what you want to do, and I think I saw them spawn as I went on my map there, is head to any outpost. Yeah, I did see them. These 2 ships are what you want. As you can see, they have helm resources, the poppies, and silver chests. And what you want to do? Sink the small ship first, because sniper sloops are the death of everyone. So you want to deal with that first. And then you deal with them. Because each like wave of 2 that you kill, you get a little bit of silver, a little bit of helm resources, and then you get 2 silver chests, which can drop anywhere from 400, like you just saw, to 644. I have seen them drop a maximum 700, like it was dead on 700. So you're getting about 1,400 from the silver they drop that they just have on them innately there, and the silver chest. Getting about 1,400 per double ship. And they spawn quite often, like you see, there's another 2 there already before I've even engaged these 2. So they will spawn rather quickly. Now I don't know if this is the best route, or best way rather, to get silver. But it's definitely a decent way at least. Definitely a decent way. And it will feed, obviously, like I said, into you making helm stuff, like your rum and tobacco and that. So it's definitely a solid way to be earning silver right now. Especially if you're lacking silver. Because I don't know about you guys, but running the Empire late game, when you start getting a lot of places under your control, I'll show you in a second what mine looks like once this shit's dealt with. Stay here a minute. When you start getting an empire like this, when I have all of the Red Isles and most of the East Indies, you start absolutely destroying your silver. I had 250,000 yesterday. I'm now down to 25,000. Hence why I'm doing this little farm real quick. But there is a thing that can happen with this farm. After a while you've been farming, you'll have to obviously take back the resources you farm back to like an outpost, which is why I recommend you be near an outpost. When you come back out of the outpost, sometimes these ships will stop spawning. If that happens, you probably will have to either keep sailing around for a little bit, or just abandon the quests, or hand them in, and then wait until you get another rotation from the audit registry. Don't know what causes it to happen, other than sometimes going to the outpost. But just keep an eye out for that. If you don't get anything for a while, just remember, just do a quick reset. Then you won't be burning much time. In terms of ships doing this farm, the Brigantine can do it fine, and I do recommend the Brigantine for basically all forms of content. But for farming, if you have the spare funds and resources to make a snow, I would probably recommend the snow for this, just because you're not PvPing, you're not moving around much. The snow has a larger cargo capacity and has more HP, so the sniper sloop, because obviously it's a sniper sloop or whatever you want to call that smaller ship, and then a larger ship. The smaller ship is actually the bigger threat, if you ask me. Some people say it's the bigger ship, but I'd say it's definitely the smaller ship, because that smaller ship, if it hits you with both of its long guns, sometimes that will put you down to 20%, 10% HP, and if you aren't full HP, you're dead. So I would easily recommend taking out the smaller ship first, because it's too much of a risk to be left alive. It it can swiftly take out my ship sometimes. Very swiftly. This farming is just very nice and easy though. Like, you might nearly sink a few times depending on how the spawning goes. So I think the worst case I've had is like 2 ships spawn here, 2 there, and 2 there. So they're all kind of like within each other's sphere of aggro, whatever you want to call it. That can be a bit dicey. But as long as you have a decent enough ship, you should be able to handle it. Like, I'm rocking at the minute. I got a pretty good ship set up. All them guns, twin winch, and the dart. I don't know how to pronounce that, but the 3 bombardier cannons, they all cost sovereigns, which are pretty difficult to get because it involves getting a certain amount of coins of 8, which is what you get from the Empire. But they are very good guns, very good guns. And then the armor I have, I actually acquired that from doing the legendary heist. If you guys aren't familiar with legendary heists, if you got your Empire up and you do the hostile takeovers, sometimes there'll be a legendary heist, which is basically, instead of you doing PvP to take over a fort or a manufactory, you can do a kind of a PvE event to kill a merchant fleet. And if you do that, all 3 of you, because it caps at 3 people, can actually all get the same factory, which is nice. I don't think there's one on the map at the minute. Yeah, I didn't see any here either, and this takeover's there. It doesn't always pop up a legendary heist, but I would definitely recommend doing them if you want a nice, easy way, quote-unquote easy, easy way to take a factory without risking PvP. Also, at the moment, at the time of recording, most people don't have East Indies or Coast of Africa, so a lot of people just aren't doing the PvP over there. But again, it does cost 5,000 coins of 8, pieces of 8, in order to unlock the other territories. Right. When your cargo is filled up, like mine, I wouldn't recommend getting as full as mine. I'd recommend you stop before you get to the encumbered status. But once it's filled, like mine, so I'll go back to the nearest outpost here, and then we'll take a log of what we got. I think I had 24,000 when I started, and I've made sure to not open any chests just so we could see this. But you can kind of get a clue of how much helm resources we get right here. Half that number is basically how many gold skull rum you'll be able to get. So 83, that's 83 gold skull rum. So 83 times 250 as well on top of this in terms of silver. Let's quickly take a note of what we got. So we started at, I think, just under 24,000, I think. Let's quickly open up all these chests, and you'll be able to get a quick glance of the first few. See how much you get. The average is normally around 500. Some of them will lowball you at 400. Some of them will be 600 or mid 600. I've only seen the 700 one once, though, at least as far as I'm aware. There we go. That is 40k now. So we got, what, 16,000-ish? But we still ain't done yet. We're still not done. Because we have a little bit extra to sell in the commodities that we got. Over here. Let me just mark all these. So 24, so we're at 16,000 so far. Plus another 10,000. So 26,000 in about, I don't know, 15 minutes, if that. You could easily make it more efficient. You also might get screwed over a little bit if depending on your ship spawns. Honestly, I'd say the ship spawns I got there were about average. Wasn't too little. Wasn't as much as I've gotten before. Sometimes it can be really good. Like, ship spawns are just constant again and again and again. And also, this is also better in a group as well. If you have 3 people that all have the quests, they don't have to have the quests, but if they all have the quests, obviously the spawns are a bit more consistent. But if everyone has the quest and you're all sailing around this area together, you can sink the ships really quick, which means they'll spawn in quicker as well. It all has like a snowball effect. Yeah, so that was, what was that, 26,000 we got there, basically. And then we also have the Helm resources here. 144 of this, 75 of that, 125 of that. The sugarcane, though, is the major one, because the rum sells well. I don't know about the gin, if that sells well, because I haven't experimented with that yet, because I don't have the Gold Skull gin. But nice amount of Helm resources. You do other stuff as well, like food and stuff. And as you can see, if I scroll down here, I also have a lot of these Helm resources. I've been using the other one since there's none there. But you can see, like, the amount of times I've farmed, you get a ton of them. And then, like I said at the start of the video, doing this farm, because of the sugarcane, it will feed back into that passive route or strat that I showed you at the start. So it just feeds into it, makes the silver runs very nice. But you just got to make sure that you're doing the craft, because sometimes, especially if you're making hundreds and hundreds of that rum, the craft gets up in the hours very quickly. Right, now that you're done farming, what do you want to do? Well, first things first, if you want to hand in the quest and finish the order, you can. You simply just find where you got to take it. I don't know where this is. Let me track it, if it'll track, because sometimes it doesn't track properly. So it's here. So say I want to finish it, I take it there, hand them in, boom, done. If you don't, all you do, find it in your quest log, press F on it, and abandon. Because you can't actually fast travel while you have these contracts on you, so it can be a little bit annoying. Yeah, that's what you do if you want to finish your farming. Either hand them in, or quickly just abandon them. I normally abandon them, because I'm at the point now where my empire kind of feeds the gold, and then I use the rum and that to actually make more silver, like I showed at the start. So the rum I make normally doesn't go to the order anymore. Right, and that is all I know about the two little strats I do to earn silver. There are other ways, like bounty hunting, which gets you quite a bit of silver, but can take a while sometimes, depending on the captain and the level of the captain. And then there's also a way you can help the passive route, which is taking the fort attacks, which will grant you like 300 of a Helm resource, which can also be good if it's sugarcane. But anyway, that's been my little tutorial video for you on some decent ways, in my opinion, to make silver. At least the two ways I use. There might be better. Hopefully there is, because, I mean, I'll take better ways to get silver. But for now, that's the two silver strats I know. Hope you guys have enjoyed, and I hope to catch you in my next video, or in a live stream. Hope to see you there, guys. Have fun.